News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Thursday on Wall Street, where traders drove stocks higher and bond yields fell as more evidence of moderating inflation reinforced bets that the Fed won't raise rates next month. We bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 gained 51 points, NASDAQ 214 points higher, the Dow jumped 69 points, the 10-year Treasury yield at 4.64%, the 2-year yield at 4.14%. Reuters reporting Silver Lake in talks to buy Workday. Workday shares quickly jumped 30%. That halted trading. Back to the markets in just a second, but first, Luigi Mangione is expected to plead guilty to federal charges relating to the fatal shooting of United Health Group CEO Brian Thompson. A guilty plea would let Mangione avoid a trial in Manhattan federal court. Mangione also faces charges of stalking resulting in death that carry a potential for life in prison without parole. If Mangione pleads guilty in federal court, his lawyers could argue he cannot face trial in state court under New York's double jeopardy law. The U.S. Court of International Trade rejected a challenge to the Trump administration's policies, allowing it to continue collecting tariffs on low-dollar imports. The court found that President Trump's move to end the de minimis exemption is allowed under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The case can still be appealed to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. Turning back to the markets now, the government sold 30-year bonds at a 5.216% interest rate, the highest since 2001, reflecting a sell-off in the market. Bloomberg Intelligence chief U.S. interest rate strategist Ira Jersey says the Treasury auction trend has been pretty good.
Now that we're above 5% in 30-year yields, the highest yields in the last 25 years, you're I think, attracting some liability-driven investors. So these are pension funds and insurance companies that really like a 5% book yield. They buy treasuries, it's very liquid.
Bloomberg's Ira Jersey on Bloomberg Business Week Daily. But Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack says she's not convinced that recent signs of a slowdown in inflation will continue. She told the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce that the Fed needs to take action now.
We've gotten two recent reports on the inflation side that are definitely better than the earlier 5 months that we've had this year. And so it's welcome. I love to see that those numbers are coming in lower. That's a good thing. But I don't have confidence that we're going to continue to see that, or that we're going to see them low enough that it's going to bring us back down to that 2% number.
Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack. Robert Kaplan says the Fed made absolutely the right call by not raising interest rates in July. The former Dallas Fed president and current Goldman Sachs vice chairman says that without the Iran war, there would be no talk of rate hikes.
If we didn't have the war in Iran and the spike in oil prices, which I think has raised headline inflation and bleeds into other items, my guess is we might not even be talking about the prospect of a rate increase.
Hear more from Goldman Sachs Vice Chair Robert Kaplan on the Bloomberg Talks podcast. Applications for unemployment benefits rose last week, but layoffs remain at historically healthy levels. The overall number of people collecting unemployment benefits the week that ended August 1st dropped by 22,000 to 1.78 million. Turning now to the Middle East, the Trump administration relying on a steady increase in economic sanctions and a naval blockade to stifle Iran's oil exports. Crude oil prices now more than 2% lower, WTI at $81 a barrel and Brent crude at $87 a barrel. And the U.S. is getting ready to send the aircraft carrier USS George Washington to the Middle East to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln. Lawmakers have raised concerns about living conditions on board the Lincoln, which has been deployed for more than 250 days with no port call in 200 days. A federal judge has dismissed the Trump administration's anti-Semitism case against Harvard University. The judge found the cited incidents to be too isolated and episodic to show that Harvard persists in violating civil rights. That lawsuit was part of a broader pressure campaign to force Harvard to comply with Trump administration demands. The Kennedy Center Board has voted to move forward with a 2-year closure and to add Donald Trump's name back to the facade. A judge has already ruled that the board, largely made up of of Trump's allies did not have the right to add Trump's name to the building and could not move forward with the closure, which the Trump administration argues is necessary for structural improvements. These latest decisions will have to be presented to the judge, who would have to approve them before moving forward. Actress Selena Gomez is being accused of fraud by investors who claim she failed to deliver on promises to promote her mental health startup, Wondermind Global. The investors claim that Wondermind lied about its prospects and never developed the products nor revenue it promised. They're suing to get their money back, including $1.2 million. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.